Hi, fellas. This is Truth and Freedom. Welcome to our show, Truth and Freedom, where there's freedom in knowing the truth. And I'm with my co host, Jim, the researcher, and this is Chuck, the instigator. And we are with our guest, Coach Joe. Can you tell something about yourself, Coach Joe, why they're calling you Coach Joe?
Because I am a life coach
Wow, that is great. So,
and I know a lot about the body, the mind, and what is true about the two in correlation with what's happening in the world.
wow. So, Jim, do you have any question to Coach Joe?
I think we'll just let Coach Joe speak for himself on the topic today. That's where we can get to know more on his insight and wisdom.
Wow, wisdom. So, there's a guy that I've talked a while ago, and he's suggesting a topic for this episode. He would like to talk about why people are being misled nowadays, why they are being very deceived. If we're gonna think about why, Coach Joe, why?
Why people are being deceived? Well, we need to take that back one step further and ask ourselves a simple question. How can I be deceived? In answering that question, I have to look at what do I pay attention to? Who do I pay attention to? And why am I paying attention to those two things? So for me, I do not pay attention to social media or to mainstream media when it comes to knowing facts. If I want facts, I go to the sources of where the facts come from. And for me, that is called the Holy Bible. If the facts are all there, the Lord says we are to trust in Him. Now, a lot of people disagree with that because they want to go along with what the quote unquote world society says, because we've been driven away from God by society, by social norms. I disagree with that, but that's a topic for another day. But today, I know for a fact that the majority of social media and mainstream media are giving false information and blocking the truth from the masses because they have another agenda in mind for us as people, as a society. They are trying to destroy us as a society. They want to pit us against each other.
So, what you are saying,
And
Coach Joe, is divide and conquer.
that's what they are. That's a game they are playing. I choose not to play their game. I use facts in everything I do to prove that what they're saying is wrong.
So, how can you say that they are plotting this? Who are those people that plotting this?
Okay, who is plotting it is the central banks of the world who run majority of our societies today. They tell the mainstream media what to do, what to say, who to block, and they are the Rothschilds, the Queen, and the likes of those people. There's a group of multi-trillionaires we don't know about because they don't want to be known. They blame everything on the billionaires because they are trillionaires. And the billionaires are just their lackeys, their puppets. So that's who tells us what to do and how to do it.
So, what you are saying, Coach Joe, there are people who are controlling the narrative.
Absolutely controlling the narrative. They don't want you to know the truth about what's going on or about life. They've been trying to steer us away from the Bible for centuries because they don't want you to know the truth. They want you to believe their lies and their truth. Let's be honest, they call it truth also, so we must say it the way they say it. They call their side the truth too. The Bible tells us not to judge, but if we do not judge what is coming at us, then we are deceived.
So, what you are saying
So,
is they are blocking the real information and they are falsifying it.
yes, out exactly how they want you to understand it and how you should repeat it. And that's what people do all over the internet and all over mainstream media. If you sit down and listen to 15 different media stations at the same time, they're all saying the same exact line. That's how we know that they have a certain narrative, because they all say the same line of information.
Very well said. So, how about you, Jim? What's your perspective about this?
Yeah, I agree completely that social media is a big truth filter. They're filtering the truth. I also want to bring up the subject of big tech in the sense of search engines like Google, Yahoo, MSN, and all those. They're also censoring the search results. And if you search something like COVID vaccine ingredients, the first maybe 1 to 5 pages is going to be all saying that the vaccines are harmless and there's nothing bad in there if you search those search engines. But if you search a different one like yandex.com, you're going to find on the first page, even the first result, you'll find some real hard facts about some of the harmful ingredients in the vaccines. As an example, the masks, the tests, all these different things associated with what's going on right now, as well as video. I would mention YouTube is very quick to censor anything against masks, vaccines, or tests, the so-called PCR tests. And if you look on a different site like BitChute.com or Rumble.com, you can find a lot of information that you wouldn't find on YouTube. So those are the other channels which sadly, unfortunately, not too many people know about the alternate channels where you're going to find more of the hard facts.
Wow. So this is really new for the masses. So what you're implying is they have to search for new media, alternate media for video is, how do you say that? Bit shoot.
Yeah, just like BIT, and then shoot like parachute, CHUTE.com.
Yes, thank you for that. For the sake of the audience.
And then Yandex is YANDEX. That's actually Russian, because Russia is really not into the New World Order thing. That's probably part of the reason they're getting a lot of trouble right now.
So you said Russia. So you're implying that Russia is in amidst of trouble. That is another topic. For the sake of the audience that are listening right now, for clarification, Yandex in layman's term is like Google.
No, Yandex is just like Google, but it's like I said, it's not truth censoring. So there, you're gonna find some of the hard facts about the vaccines, the masks, and the so-called PCR tests, the actual real truth about what's happening with all these things.
Okay, well said. So, Coach Joe, what do you suggest for knowing the truth more? And we are talking to a lot of who are, we can say that are really blinded or clouded nowadays.
I would say for social media, do not listen to what's on Facebook, Twitter, as far as news, as far as the global news or individual country news. I would suggest to use Brave browser, and also for social media, I would say Getter, Getter. You can download it to your phone. It's an app. It's Truth app. They do not have any censorship at all on their app. And also another new social media is called Truth Social.
Wow. So that is new and very rare, I think. What I'm thinking is this guy who reached me, who approached me and suggested the topic is like telling about a lot of people nowadays are deceived. They are being deceived by the mainstream media. So let's say for if you're gonna turn on the TV, what they can see is all bunch of made up news. Do you agree with that, Coach Joe?
I totally agree with that. I do not even own a TV because I won't allow my family to be deceived in that manner.
So how about you, Jim? What's your perspective about that?
Yeah, I mean there are certain news that's fine, like traffic or what's happening in the city, just general news. But when it comes to these political type of things, Um, obviously in the U.S. there was so much mudslinging against Donald Trump, saying that he was he was trying to do collusion with Russia and all this nonsense, and then just the constant talking about the tests and the cases and all this nonsense. Basically, they're just constantly pushing the cases, the cases, the cases, but what it really was the basically every single so-called case of these PCR tests is fraud. It doesn't prove any diagnose any sickness whatsoever, and it's completely manipulatable by the magnification levels that they do on the DNA fragment that everybody has in their body, basically. So yeah, I mean, I totally agree with Joe, but I mean, I like to avoid extremes myself. I like for us to watch some Netflix or have some cartoons or watch some movie or whatever. So I'm not gonna throw the TV out, but yeah, I mean, you definitely gotta be careful what kind of news you watch and for what kind of information you're gonna get.
Very well said, Jim. So I remember a synonym for TV that is also called idiot box. So if you're
Correct.
watching television, it's like you're being a product for moronic lies and you're being a slave of idiot. So what we are suggesting is you can divert yourself from lies and fabrication. So before we're gonna end our show, what are you gonna say about avoiding lies and, of course, reaching out the truth? What do you suggest, Coach
When
Joe?
you hear something, research it yourself. Do not take the word of the person or the page or the information where it's coming from. Go to one of the browsers that we had mentioned and research it yourself. Find out if it's a truth or a lie. Because again, what you're hearing from social media channels or mainstream media, I would have to say 90% of the information they give out are false truths or misinformation about what is actually going on. So research yourself, research things for yourself. When you see something, question it in your own mind, say, well, that sounds kind of funny. Yeah, well, 90% of it's a lie, so go check it out.
That's great. So what you are suggesting is avoid TV, avoid television, and go research for yourself.
When you hear something or see something, do further research. Don't believe just what they're showing you. Figure out where it came from. Figure out where that information is coming from. Because if it's not the truth, it'll disappear real fast. You won't hear anything else about it.
Got it. So what you're saying to the masses is if they hear something of or they got any information, search it deeper. So always question the information.
Exactly. Always question.
Okay, that's great. How about you, Jim? What do you suggest?
Yeah, I mean, it also comes down to who you follow as far as people. It's good to have colleagues and associates and friends that are in the know about what's really going on. If you only surround yourself with mainstream media lapping people, you're probably not going to get much insight as to what's really going on. Uh, as the good book says, bad company corrupts good character. So that also falls into in the area of information and knowledge, and just being able to look out for each other and share different insights and different research, different um, just what's happening in the current world, and how it ties in with our current living situation, our even history. I mean, there's some people that know more in history, or some people that know more in current events and current research. So yeah, just combining ideas is also helpful.
So what you are saying, surround yourself with wise people.
Yeah, that's correct.
Well, that's great. That's a great suggestion. So on our next episode, we're gonna tackle about the hazards and the risk of fluoride. So this is relevant to what we are currently talking. So we're gonna end the show and we're gonna hope for new hope and more truth.
Well, this is truth and freedom, and this is where freedom is found in knowing the truth.
Thank you for your time, Coach Joe. We really appreciate it.
Thank you guys for inviting me. I appreciate you guys doing this.
Thank you so much, Coach Joe. Thank you for your time. Well, we're now signing off. Bye and God bless.
All right, thank you guys. Bye
God
bye.
bless.
That's good.